right. Hello. Welcome everyone. Okay, here we go. How's everyone's night been? Hey, what's going on, Hobo? How's everyone's night been? What's been going on? What is new in the tech world? Obviously, people that used to obviously come to the channel for the tech news, PC419 did a Talking Tech every Tuesday night with my few co-hosts actually had in the past. So we've had Matt, we've had Rowie, and there was Rye as well. And then I went on my own for a while, and then the tech sort of went down, and then I just sort of stopped doing it, stopped doing the reviews as well. There was a lot of things out there that wasn't coming out back then due to COVID and obviously expensive prices and that. So I decided to sort of slow that all right down, do a bit of gaming in between then, and now we're back in the swing again. And Computex 2025 is almost done. It's got one more day left. So what we do tonight, we're going to cover some of the key products that I think that are worthy of looking at, and then we'll have another stream probably later on in the weekend, and we'll try and cover some of the more products that Computex has to offer for 2025, which means what will happen is the products that get released at Computex may be released within the next month, it may be released in 1 year, it could be just a design that we're bringing out, we're not sure yet, but we'll definitely find out soon and get more information on that. And some of the key products you guys want to actually look at further, we'll put a post in the PC419 Discord on there. You can guys put on there, and we'll just keep an eye on those specific products when they're going to be released and so forth. Well, I am making contact again with most of the brands that are out at the moment in Australia. So I'll be able to do some unboxings, start doing some reviews as well. It'll probably be this sort of style, which I might change the camera around and so forth, obviously to make it more visible for you guys. But this will be the new thing for PC419 back again. Hey Dark, how you going? Hello, and thank you very much. 20 months in a row. Wow, thank you. I hope you've been well. So, moving forward, so what we got here, let's have a look at some, we're not going to go through all of Computex. 20 months, I know. We're not going to go through all the products of Computex. We're going to go through some of the key things that we should look at tonight, and then what we'll do is, I'm going to grab pretty much over the weekend, I'll grab the key main features that we should be talking about. Some of the few things that obviously are being released by all the brands. We'll know by Friday. Today, for them today and tomorrow are being the last days. They'll have major releases as well. Usually they'll wait until Friday. Because I've been at Computex. I was there at 2018. Fantastic. I loved it. Show feet. How you going, Ro? We're just talking about you. Hey, buddy. I hope you're being well, mate. And yeah, so what we'll do is we'll discuss a few things on there, and we'll definitely see what Friday's all about, because Friday's probably really the main day as well. Usually, obviously, NVIDIA, AMD have done their keynotes already, so we'll get through them as well. But I'll actually make sure through the next stream that I do this will be down. Will probably be a long one, so we'll try and get through as much as possible. But let's start up with some of the next things that are coming out with Computex. Give me a second. Let's change it over. All right. I hope you guys like the design a bit. All right, so Computex 2025. All right, here we go. So there is a few products that have been released so far. So Asus have the Asus ROG Zephyrus G14. Apparently, there's two different types of boards going to be releasing out here. Now, as you can see here, onboard GPU, which is very heavy. So we're looking at 5090, 5080, and 5070 Ti. We are going to be looking at the 5060. Some of the stuff that actually happened at Computex, and a lot of the reviewers online actually boycotted actually doing the 5060 review, but we'll definitely discuss that soon. There was a few things on here. So this is what caught my eye as well. So a lot of the modders. So when I did before PC419 went into YouTube and everything else. So we originally started actually case modding. So most of the case modding we did here in Australia, and they actually went to Computex and a few other events up in Taiwan, and that's how PC419 started. Really, yeah, it was from case mod. So these sort of things here do interest me a lot, and obviously, you know, got some awesome case modders up in Taiwan. And from here, you can see they've actually built a tank at PC. This looks absolutely awesome how they've done this. Even back then when I was there, they did so well with their case mods, and you can, it's just the artistic behind it, you know. A few things that we did here, we will get a standard case, for example, and I will strip the whole case down back to bare metal. Sometimes actually pop over the case right open, and then rebuild it again as something to pretty much. I didn't want to go to extremely modifying the cases, but what I wanted to do is actually make it look like what it should be looked like. So, you know, either we'll actually get the case painted and we'll get it baked enamel. You know, we'll put perspex or we'll put glass front panels with, you know, different spaces to allow airflow to go through the case from the front case fans. I literally, my modifications to the case were pretty much to say, all right, let's make it look better with better airflow, or, you know, I'll actually cut the back of the case around so, you know, you can get the cables out easier. And most of those cases that were done back in the day are actually inbuilt into the cases that are currently into today's cases. So they actually do take a lot of our obviously designs and thought behind of our mods. I wouldn't say this one particularly, but like the mods we did into equation to actually build the new cases of today. So this is, yeah, definitely interesting to see. You know, when you see things like this, it's so cool. Obviously someone's actually did a card. Look at that. I reckon most of these would be 3D printed for sure. This one I want to get into a bit later on. I've actually got a thing I want to talk about this one, because this is definitely something I've been meaning to do for over 10 years. All right, so get ready for even faster data transfers. One technology that keeps showing up in the background for all things we've seen at Computex this year is Thunderbolt 5. From faster external graphics cards to even better read and write speeds and storage, Thunderbolt 5 looks to be the game changer for a lot of different devices types. With a baseline of 80 gigabits per second at max speed of 120. That is blistering fast for one single cable to actually transfer speeds of that caliber. It is, Hobo, it is. I do want to look at, say, and here we go. This is what I'm talking about. So AMD Radeon RX 960 XT is a direct shot at the NVIDIA RTX 5060. In the worst kept secret of Computex, so everyone knew this 9060 was going to be released. So what actually happened here, Acer actually blew the whistle on this. So the 9060 XT was not supposed to have no information be released about it and so forth, but unfortunately Acer released the 9060 XT on their website. I think it was a day or a day and a half before the actual keynote event that AMD were going to release the actual 9060. Yeah, so they had it on there. They knew it was going to be 16 gig. They knew that it was going to have, like, you know, as more power than the 5060. And yeah, so unfortunately, it got released a lot sooner than it should have, or was a day early, I should say. But from moving forward from there, the 9060 XT, which is something I might look at talking to some of the board partners here in Australia to see if I can get my hands on one at least to get a review on it. So I'd love to see what it's like compared to my current gen that I've currently got now, and obviously and some of the things I've got here still at home as well that I can do a review against. I've got a few friends with top tier cards as well, so I wouldn't mind actually going head to head with the 960 XT. Can I have it when you're done? You're not the first or not the last person to keep asking that question. A lot of people ask me every time I put a review up, especially on YouTube. Yeah, there's first question is, can you build me a PC? Can I have a PC? Can I have it once you're done? I'm like, oh, yeah, look, if it's a review sample, it's obviously sometimes I get the keep, sometimes I don't. But yeah, if you don't ask, it's always a no. Of course, exactly right, exactly right. So we'll definitely be looking at this. If I don't get an actual physical sample, we can look at a few reviewers that have actually gone through the process of the 9060 XT. So let's talk about the NVIDIA RTX 5060 launch. So this was a bit of a flop of a launch. The behind the scenes of NVIDIA said to most of the reviewers, actually every reviewer that wanted to review the 5060, is it could not review against the previous gen, which is the 4060. It had to be reviewed against a 2060 or a 3060, which the gap was absolutely massive. Like there was, you're talking about, 5060 can produce 130, 140 FPS compared to like a 3060 was like 30 or 40 FPS on 4K gaming or in 2K or a 1080p gaming. It was ridiculous. So they would said if you don't go by our guidelines, we won't give you a review sample, nor will we give you the drivers to actually run the card. So a lot of the top tier reviewers boycotted actually doing the 5060 for this reason, because they didn't give them a chance to do it all. They said, no, do it our way, or you don't get the drivers, or you don't get the card at all. And most of them said, you know what, we don't care, and don't do it. There was a lot of smaller reviewers that actually accepted their terms, which they did against the 2060 and the 3060, not going against the 30 or not going against the 4060. And yeah, those reviewers they did get bombed a bit, which was pretty sad perspective, because obviously they are trying to grow. They're trying to grow their channel. They're trying to get at least something from it. But the thing is, NVIDIA directly or the board partners were messaging these people. They were obviously, maybe got 20, 30 or 40, 50,000 subscribers on YouTube to review this 5060. And obviously they're going to say yes straight away because 9 out of 10, they'll get to keep the card regardless. And yeah, they got hammered for, comparing it against a 2060. You're talking about 3 or 4 generations behind, which is ridiculous. You can't do that at all. You bring the current GPU has to be going against up the previous generation. You can go generations behind, but if you're going to go, say, like for 20 series or 30 series, you got to go against like a 3070 or a 3080 or a 2080 or a 2080 Ti. They're the sort of cards that are top tier at those, 2 or 3 generations behind. What is your lowest tier up against them? Even if there was a very small comparison, you can say, you know what? That's how much the leap is at the moment. You got a big leap now, where the lowest tier card of the current generation actually compares to the top tier card of second or third generations behind. So I definitely agree on that, that should have happened respectively, but how NVIDIA came across this one where you cannot go against the 4060, which I think I've seen a few reviewers so far, and they've pulled numbers out. Some of the 4060 actually still beats the 5060 in some games. But we'll definitely look into that a bit more later on. Most likely in the first week or next week, first couple of days, when I get a bit more information about it. And we'll definitely be doing a lot of these talking techs as well, moving forward, streaming, and then be directly uploaded to YouTube from here. All right. Dark Angel goes, no shock here. How about NVIDIA doing things back in front of... Look, that's how it always is, mate. Do you have to do all of them, including the latest? You can't just skip tiers. Well, that's the issue they were doing. They wanted to skip the 4060, and that's what they're trying to do. Thank you very much for restricting that. Cheap viewers, no, we don't need that at all. Yeah, I know PC419 has been around for a while, but we'll definitely get those numbers back up again. But I appreciate everyone that's here currently at the moment. All right, so. This I have seen some information about. So Acer has released an AI transbot making multilingual chat easy. So pretty much what it is, it's the old school Bluetooth earpiece, and it is directly connected up. So if someone's talking in a different language, if it's Japanese or Mandarin, or if it's German or Russian, it will get it in and convert it directly into English. I've seen this before. This looks really, really good. Obviously, if you are traveling overseas, something handy to have. If you are going to a country that you're very foreign, it's, languages, obviously you can speak English there, but most prominently is their language. This will definitely looking at something to be looked at as well, which is, if you, I don't know how much it's going to cost, but yeah, that's something to definitely look at. All right, I want to get into. Let's have a look at here. All right. So yeah, in the next scene here, we've got the 5060. Actually, got to bring this across a bit more. I don't know why this is. I'll bring it down. That's fine. The 5060 GPUs in the laptops as well. So some of the ASUS TUF A18 18-inch model has the RTX 5060 paired with an AMD Ryzen 7 260 processor. Look, even though regardless of the 5060, what NVIDIA actually did with this, you know, it's still best of a card regardless. And in the case here, especially in the laptop, you know, if you're traveling or so forth, you know, low power, it still has enough GPU power to actually run pretty much any game, really. But I still disagree on how they did the reviews. Unfortunately, in a laptop, you really can't do much of a difference, you know, comparing models to models, especially, you know, if AMD do release or Intel release a new CPU. You really can't blame the laptop division side to it. But obviously, yeah, dedicated GPU that goes into your desktop. That's something to definitely look at. This is like a blast from the past. I don't know if you guys are old enough to actually remember the split keyboards. I think Microsoft had a split keyboard. There was a few other brands that actually had split keyboards as well. But ASUS ROG split keyboard for gamers. What are your thoughts on this, guys? Would you look at anything? Would this something be interesting for you guys to actually look into buying yourselves? You know, does it require to have your keyboard split? Do your hands like spread out that much that you need to have a split keyboard? Okay. Oh my god, why? Yeah, Dark. Hobo Pass. I remember them back in the I think everyone does. Do you guys remember the old school Microsoft keyboards where they had that curve? That, to be honest, even though it looked stupid, it actually did well where it was supposed to be. I would like to see this more in action though, in this split keyboard from ASUS. I want to see it, physically seen, or is it really? Do you really require to have a split keyboard? Can you actually just disconnect the right hand side and just use the left hand side as the WSD key? Maybe you don't require the rest of the keyboard when you're playing or so forth. It's going to be bit of a weird one, but if you can see here what it says with the ZDNet.com. We've seen a handful of split and economical keyboards over the past year, but the gaming focused ROG Calcutta keyboard has interesting positions for gamers. Why do away with the whole right side with the board when you really just need the WASD? Well, there you go, ASD keys. The new keyboard is completely wireless. It's pretty good. Features magnetic switches, and like any split keyboard, can be arranged in optimal positions for your hands. Magnetic switches allows for very satisfactory and responsive feel, with ASUS claiming 100 million key presses. The ergonomic ones, yeah. This mechanical keyboard, I tested, works just as well as fast as it does it for playing, which is fair enough. Like, obviously, it'll have some sort of lightning speed. It'll be Bluetooth and lightning at the same time. The connector that joins the two pieces is a little awkward in my option, but I didn't see how it could be engineered without a second Bluetooth connection. So it must be just Bluetooth only. The Calcutta will be released in summer 2025, although pricing is not yet available. I guarantee this from ASUS, this is going to be at least a $300 keyboard. No ifs, no buts. Going back to Acer. So Acer launches a budget-friendly smart ring. Has anyone here ever thought about buying the smart ring? If it's the Samsung or the few other brands that are out there, obviously instead of having a watch, you just got the smart ring. Which obviously it does take some of the your body features in regard to heart rate or so forth. Have you ever thought of actually getting a smart ring yourself, guys? Nope. That might be good for you, Ozzy. You might have to wear the smart ring and then you get your heart rate monitor on there. Bluetooth. You sold the smart ring today. There you go. So, with a competitive price point of $199 and no subscription, there you go. It does take your heart rate, blood oxygen levels, and of course, sleep quality without the whole lot of extra bells and whistles. So it is basics of basics. We have sold a total of 1. There you go. All right. I have actually thought about buying one, but yeah, the price was a bit too out of range. But $199, which I'm not sure if this is actually US or we're talking about Australian dollars, but I'm guessing it's US dollars on this one. All right, so going back to handheld, MSI announced its Claw 8 AI Plus at CES this year, which is one of the best gaming handhelds we've tested. Outstanding battery life and 8 inches of 120Hz display by the Intel Core Ultra 7 258B processor. MSI showed off its next integration because remember, MSI have gone with Intel on this one, so they are using Intel integrated graphics as well. Battery with up to 24 gig of memory, slightly less than the 32 gig in the Claw 8 AI Plus. The new Claw with the AMD chip was also forgoes the natural bridge for more traditional gamers' oriental colors, including the lime green that calls to mind the Game Boy Color from the early 2000s. It actually does look like that, doesn't it? Continuing with the AMD trend, the new Zotac Zone handheld features the Ryzen AI 9 HX370 processor with up to 32 gig of RAM. Only has a 7-inch screen with 120Hz AMOLED display. Interestingly, it runs on Linux, utilizing what Zotac calls the One Launcher for gamers' settings and platforms in one place. Interesting. So it's more Steam process. I reckon it'll be more. You can have your Steam, obviously, Steam OS and everything else on there instead of going for the Windows base there as well, which will probably save battery life at the same time. Intel teases new Panther Lake processors. NVIDIA isn't only the company with new hardware. However, Intel is responding to competitors' performance with its own next generation of chips dubbed Panther Lake. Focus on improving on the strong power efficiency on its Lunar Lake processors. Intel deemed its new processors at Computex, positioning themselves in the successor of the previous generation of the Lunar Lake chips, with a focus on improving power efficiency and performance even further, appearing in consumer devices in early 2026. See you later this year. Yeah, so moving forward on here, there's a few laptops on here. Now, this is not going to be a very, very long talking tech because I've got one more thing I want to have a look at here as well. But then I've also got which I'll jump into my Discord quickly as well. We've got Hobo here. He wants to actually build a PC. So we'll be talking about his new PC build and we're going to see what we can squeeze in, what we can't squeeze into his budget. But this thing here, I'll be showing you guys now. If you guys want to have a look at this, this is the FLP02 case from Silverstone. Now, if you have been in the market to build a brand new PC, but in a sleeper case, guess what? Silverstone has the FL P01 as well as the P02 case. This case here is a brand new case from Silverstone. They are not in production yet. They will be in production soon. Right. So it is a full sleeper case from the 1980s to early 90s. And what happens is you can actually build your brand new PC. Where is it? Oh, they don't give me much photos on this one. No, they don't. God damn it. Brand new PC in an old sleeper case. And have a look at this, guys. Look, what a fantastic idea that Silverstone have done here. So I have seen some video about this already. There is a key lock. So back in the day, there was a key lock for the power button. So you turn the lock here and you won't be able to press the power. Now, I don't know if you guys remember the turbo button they used to have back in the day? So you used to click the button, they used to turbo your CPU up and or the whole PC up in that case. Now what the turbo button does, it's actually a fan controller. So it will go down to like 5 or 10%. And then, so we'll just show 5 on there. And as soon as you flick the turbo button, it just boosts all the fan in the PCs So it boosts all the fans in the PC case itself to 99 or 100%, which is, I don't know how, if it's 100% or if it's just showing 99. But you might be able to adjust the software on that. I'm sure Silverstone will have some sort of software on there. So 99 might be 50% or vice versa or whatever it's going to be. But yeah, so I've been hanging to actually build a PC in an old sleeper case. I was thinking about doing it at the start of this year actually. But I'm actually considering waiting for this one here. Because you can actually build a full PC all in one. You can fit RADs in there. It's actually all made for it. Yeah, and you can actually obviously fit what size GPUs does it say? Yeah, I just saw it actually. Where'd it go? Supports massive modern GPUs up to 360mm AIO coolers and has a turbo button for a fan controller. But there you go. Yeah, so you can actually fit full size GPUs, which I'm hoping airflow on this is actually going to be okay. But also with the 360mm RADs for all-in-ones or just obviously air cooling as well. So if you want to go full retro. But there's so many things you can do with this. Even though you are building in an outside retro case, you can actually make the internal parts all retro as well. You can actually, even if you get your GPU, your board and so forth, you can actually paint them to look like it's an old motherboard. And, people look at it and think, oh, who the hell's going to, play games in this? And you just power it up and it's a full-blown, $3,000 or $4,000 computer here. And, yeah, it looks like something from the 80s. What do you guys think about that? Sorry, losing my voice. All right. So let's get into, I'll get into the chat, Hobo. Cool vibes? Sure is. We'll get into the stream. You should be able to connect into it. If not, just go into one of the chats up top and I'll drag you in. In the meantime, I'm actually going to go back to, I don't know if Hobo actually changed his thing here. No, that was the motherboard we looked at. And then this is the list he looked at. Oh, there are some changes on here. I'll just ping him now. Is Hobo here?
Yes, he is.
Hey, buddy, what's going on?
Yeah, not much, man, not much.
Is this the new list, or are we changing the whole thing around again?
Which one?
I just clicked the link from the previous.
Pretty sure that's the new one.
Yep.
B550. No, that's my mum. That's the one for my missus. That's not the new one.
Okay. You want to send me the link for that one then? For your one that you're looking at?
I thought I did already. All right, give me a sec. That's the sub. Sorry, I'm playing fucking games with Orzo at the same time.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
That's right.
I'm in a tier 5 fucking DD, man. It's not.
Oh, yeah. That's all right. You can wait.
Yeah.
We'll jump on with him soon.
Yeah.
So what do you think of Talking Tech? This is a very short one. We usually when I used to back into do it, Matt and I were doing it back in the days, we usually at least go for maybe an hour or two.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so this is probably good to do it around now because obviously Computex just being, here at the moment.
Yep.
But I really wanted to wait until the end of the week to actually continue this. But I did see a few things that I liked about Computex so far. So yeah, I just wanted to just address those ones. That case was awesome, and I love that Silverstone case. Looks absolutely fantastic. And they're actually it's going to go in mass production. Yeah.
Oh, they're gonna sell thousands of them.
Oh yeah, 100%. Thanks, Dark. I really appreciate it. Look, it is coming back. I know I've been saying it for a while, right? But yes, PC419, the hardware side to it and the review side to it is going to come back. I just got to wait till everyone comes back from Taiwan now because all the marketing managers are all there. And they usually take about a week or two over because while they're up there, they'll go and travel and they'll take 1 or 2 weeks off work. Obviously getting paid to go there, and then they'll either stick around in Taiwan or go to Vietnam or go to Japan, or some go to Europe. Yep. All right.
Making friends with my fellow mods.
Yeah,
Alright, so I sent you that. I sent you that.
I was gonna move everything's around. I'm just going to we'll bring them
Yeah.
down. Bring it here. I can stay big. All right. Now, let's go through why you've chosen what you've chosen.
That's a good question, to be honest, because I have no idea.
Is this something that you just like seeing and like, you know what, this looks pretty close to what I want? Is what sort of games? What sort of games are you looking at playing?
Any number of random different things, from COD to Warships, Halo, Starcraft. It's not Starcraft. What's that? Star Citizen.
Yep.
Starfield, all that sort of shit.
Starfield. Yep.
I play fucking anything and everything.
All right. So what we'll do, and what everyone should be doing here, and I've been obviously Kayla will know this 100%. This is when you're building a PC. First thing you look at is what games you're playing, and then the next thing you look at is what monitor am I playing on. So, is it a 1080p or is it 1440, 4K?
I believe they're both 1440s.
All right, 1440s. So, the higher resolution you get, the more VRAM you're going to require, right? The less resolution you get, the less VRAM you're going to require. It works both ways. You can go high VRAM at 1080p, you'll get obviously a larger FPS rating. And then if you go mid-range, it works sort of midish. So with myself, because on my main screen I'm running a 4K screen, I'm still running a 3090 at the moment, and it runs fine.
Yeah.
It's just like I've got no problems whatsoever. The games that I'm playing currently at the moment, right? It's got 24 gig of VRAM. So what you need to look at is, all right, so 7800 XT, great CPU, or great GPU, I should say. Now, with the current one being released now, the 960 XT, right? How desperate are you to wait?
Oh, I've got to wait a month or two anyway.
So you've got a while left anyway, yeah?
Yeah.
So look,
I'll be waiting for my tax to come back.
Yeah. So prices
end of June.
Yeah. So prices are going to fluctuate in the next couple of months, which is good for you, right? Anyone building a PC, always around tax time as well. You're not the only one. A lot of people will just wait till tax time and they actually do a few upgrades or build a whole new PC or so forth. But in your case, because they've just released the new GPUs that's AMD's been released now, you've got a chance to actually maybe even bump it up one more, right? Or go to, example, the 960 and the 960 GPU, which will maybe benefit you a lot more, or you'll be 1-to-1. We'll have to wait until the reviews come out for that one to see how much the 700 XT is, better than if it's way less performance wise. A 960 outperforms it by miles, or there's a 5 or 10% difference. Now, if the 960 XT comes out and say example comes out as of a $1,200 or $1,300 price tag, right? But we're only gaining about say 10%. That's not worth the buy. At $899, you're still going to save this. You're still going to save it $300 or $400. You can actually move that up to example your CPU, right? And see, all right, let's instead of going for a Ryzen 5, let's go for a Ryzen 7 and bump the CPU up a little bit more, right? These are the sort of things we have to look at. Now, with the Antec Constellation, what was the reason for that case?
I just like the look of it, to be honest. Seems like it'll have decent airflow.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't used a midline case before.
Okay.
As well.
So what I'm currently running now in my system, the NZXT N9. Let's bring it up. It's the Elite H9. That's it. Where is it? So this is mine's in black though. I think there was a black one there. No. So this is the case I'm running now. In mine. In all honesty, you've seen photos of it, right? This case, bathroom. It is a bit of a larger case, but easy to work on.
Well, I've got a large one at the moment.
Yeah. It doesn't matter the size difference in cases for yourself?
Nah, not so much.
Yeah. Look, I can recommend this case.
Like, it was originally designed to go in my son's room and shit, so the smaller case would fit better with his crap.
Yeah. But this is for you,
yeah? It possibly now, yeah.
Look, I could recommend this, right? Having only one myself in black, I wouldn't get white. In black.
It'd definitely be black.
Yeah, it does come with a few case fans. Not highly recommended the case fans. This is actually not the one I've got. I've actually got the RGB ones, and one's got RGB fans all in there ready to go. But you can changes as well. So I would recommend changing the fans, even the ones that come with it. They look all right, but yeah, I'm actually going to change the fans. So well, actually, you might just have to wait. I might just give you my fans if you end up upgrading regardless. There isn't a difference between between my case and this one. The only difference is it's got the RGB fans with the RGB controller. But yeah, like this case was so easy to work on. Like honestly, I built my PC within 15 minutes, 20 minutes max.
Oh, shit, that's all right.
Nothing at all. Everything is well set, no problems. Obviously, you got the power supply at the back. Massive cable management. Like this cable management, it just works so easily. Even installing the AIO, if you're going to do that, that's another thing as well. Which we didn't see on your build list.
I didn't have one on there, yeah.
Which is this not your build list? Where does the build list go on? I want to go back actually.
The Ray Stealth on the one I'm running at the moment actually works superbly.
The Stealth coolers,
because I've got the 3900X at the moment, and the stock cooler that came with it works fantastically.
Is there any reason why you wouldn't go to a different?
At the time, it was saving money.
Just saving money. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So let's have a look at some of the CPUs. Right. So if you go to AMD, even AM5 9000. Okay.
That board only supported the 7 and 8000 chipsets.
Yes, that we can look at that as well. Don't worry. Because
which was why I wasn't
too perturbed with it at the time.
Looking at faster chips,
yeah. You don't want to restrict yourself so much, and also too, this board will probably might get a BIOS update to actually get a bit more further into it. So, now CPUs. Let's get back to CPUs here. We even go to 8000. No.
So from what I looked at the 8000s, they're basically not worth the price compared to the 7000s.
100% not.
Because they're only like a 5% upgrade sort of shit deal. Yeah.
So one thing you got to look into it, right? Specifically is core count, right? Now 6 core is fine. 6 core is fine, okay, but
remember, I think I've got 12 at the moment.
Yeah, well, the 3900 is a 12 core, but it's a lot slower than even against the 7600.
But yeah,
right. Now I've got the 9900X of mine, right? Not so much because of streaming and gaming at the same time. Particularly is the top of games that are being released now. Those AAA titles are GPU and CPU bound as well. Not all just GPU bound. And this is where I mean where when it comes down to, I'll open up another. When it comes down to your GPU, right? This is where you're either going to save money and put it towards something else, like your CPU, for example. So upgrading the CPU, changing the board, right, to able to actually, get a higher CPU. And this is where you can start juggling things around. But particularly, we're going to still have to wait for this first. We have to wait for the GPU. We have to wait for that 9060 to be released properly. and see if this price does go down or stay stable, and see what the difference is in performance between the 9060 versus the 7800 XT. This is going to be your key point on what your sort of GPUs should be getting, because in comparison, even though it is a 16 gig, the thing is you got to understand that it's going to be a generation behind now. So with GPUs, if a new GPU is getting released, unless it's like you're getting a top tier, so if you're buying this, say the 7900 XTX, right? That GPU it's a top tier in the 7000 series, that will still dominate games till today, right? So will this though as well, but particularly you got to see how much of a difference, because the 9060 has also got 16 gig of RAM. You got to make sure that you aren't losing 30 or 40% performance between the two. You know what I mean? So it's going to juggle around a little bit. But then you look at yourself, well, will I rather just go for a better CPU, keep the 700 XT, go for a better CPU, get a different board, and then eventually later on in life or so forth, upgrade the GPU, and, I'll be in front that way. Which, in my preference, I'll rather do that. I'd rather actually get a different board, get a beefier CPU, keep the 700 XT if it's going to be sufficient, which I think it will be. And in that case there, the easy option to upgrade would be just the GPU later on in life, if they had to be. Because if you have to upgrade your motherboard and upgrade your CPU later on in life, you've still got the cost factor between those two is probably going to outdo what the 700 XT is worth now. Does that make sense?
I think so.
Because you'll be changing to example, say you'll get a 9900X, which is, where is it gone here? So if you go for the 900X, which is $699 or $700 CPU on its own, right? It's 12 core and it goes to 5.6 gigahertz, but at 12 cores. So all cores at the same time. And if you are going to be playing games, for example, like Star Citizens or anything that's AAA title, it's heavy on the GPU, the CPU will definitely 100% take some load. And this is what you have to look at. So it's different if you're just playing World of Warships or anything that's not really heavy, right? Then what your current setup, what you've got on it now, will actually do fine. But if you are looking at some of those higher end AAA title games, it will run it, but you'll definitely 100% lose FPS just running on the 6 cores, especially if you've got other stuff running in the background.
Yeah.
So bear in mind on that, One thing I probably look at also too is maybe the power supply. Power supply, it's 750 watt. It does have ATX 3.1 as well, so it will take the new gen GPUs. Look, that's fine. It's only 750 as long as you don't go anything higher. If you're going to go for 7900 XTX or 40, 70, 40, 80, 40, 90, no. you'll be going to platinum. Gold's okay.
Yeah.
Right. But I've had my platinum AX 1200 for 6 years now going, and it's still going.
Yeah. Nice.
I've had too many bronze and gold power supplies shit themselves in my lifetime to spending money on the power supply, because that is the absolute last thing you'll be replacing or upgrading, because that's one thing you just don't. So I think it'll be the only reason why you replace it now, if you have to, if you go to say 40 series or new 50 series GPUs for NVIDIA, when you got the 12-pin power connectors on them, which I wouldn't go near at the moment. Don't trust them.
No.
RAM is okay. 32 gig is, funny to say now, is the new norm, the standard. But actually, the new standard of today is actually 64.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's 32 is fine. I think it'll run fine. 16 gig, most games are minimum now at 16 gig recommendation. So 32, you're still within spec, but you will look from what you're running now compared to what even this setup you got now, the 7600 processor, you will see a massive difference in gameplay. So whatever you're getting, there's double, probably pretty much almost half or double what you got in FPS. What GPU are you currently running at the moment?
Fuck. That's a good fucking question. Why can I never remember this shit?
Is it AMD or NVIDIA?
AMD.
Okay. How many years?
7 something. It's only a year and a half old.
Okay.
I just had it up before.
So you said 7600 XTX XT? 6600, 6700 XT or X?
It is a 7800 XT.
Okay, so you're gonna buy the exact same GPU.
Radeon, it's the RX 7800. Is that the same
Is
one?
it XT or an X?
XT.
Okay.
Oh, RX 7800 XT.
Yeah. So it's pretty much what you got now. So you want to buy the exact same GPU?
Yeah. Well, it was going to go in my son's computer, so it didn't really matter much.
Of course. All right, well, that's something we can definitely look at later on then. So if we have to example, let's muck around with the GPU. Right? So if we've got the graphics cards here, let's just go for the price of a 7900 XTX, right? Add that in. View the basket. Oh, it's in a different basket. You might have to redo your one again.
Yeah, that's right.
So add the 7900 XTX in there. And let's classify that as a rough price of the 9060 XT or XTX, whatever we're going to bring out. And to everyone who's joined, we're actually just going through Hobo's PC build, actually. So if you guys are enjoying it, we'll be playing Warships very, very soon. And hopefully, Ozzo's going to be streaming for a while, he said, is he? I think he's going.
Yeah, he's still on for another couple of hours, yeah.
Couple of hours, yeah. We'll jump in with him very soon. Did you update yours yet?
Yes.
Okay, let's have a look here. All right, it's in there. All right, let's bring it in. Okay, so let's remove the 7800. Oh.
Yeah, I took the 7800 out.
You did? Yep. Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So if you had to go for this, for example, right, and classify the 7900 XTX as the 9060 as a rough price point, because being a brand new GPU, that's roughly what we're looking at price. But if you had to go back to the 7800 XTX, which will may come down in price, or this is the one you'd be looking at mainly. If this comes down in price, this will be the GPU.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you got to say if this comes down to like to $1,100 or $1,200, and this comes down a little bit further, the 960 is out. Yep, it's a newer GPU, but then the 7900 XTX still, in rasterization games, this blitz through it. Yeah, I'll definitely looking at this as an upgrade, 100%. With this processor, can we change the processor, please? The board price, I'm not too fussed about the board price because it's roughly, we can get boards that will support the 9000 series. Can you just change the processor on that for a second? Put a 9900X in there.
90 what?
Yep, 9900X, yep. And we'll also need a cooler because it doesn't come with a cooler.
Oh, it doesn't come with a cooler?
No, it does not. It does not. But you can opt for air cooling, or we can opt for a cheaper version of a liquid cooler. I've had liquid cool.
AIO.
Yeah, I've had air cooling on my CPU. I've got an all-in-one in mine now, and the air cooler was sufficient enough, to be honest. I probably went a bit overboard, putting a water cooler in it. But don't be wrong, I have overclocked mine a little bit more than it is. So it's not running on the space clocks. But if you're going to run it on the space clocks and just use the BIOS, the BIOS, excuse me, the BIOS overclocks that comes with the boards, then yeah, an air cooler. I had my max air cool was at full load. I had it about 75 degrees, 76 degrees. That's max load.
Yeah.
And that was with this air cooler here. It's actually got thermal paste still stuck on it. But yeah, it's got two 120mm fans on it, front and back. And yeah, this cooler here was more than sufficient enough.
Which one was that?
This is the Noctua. The actual, I don't know, PC case can actually set Noctua.
Is it like the dual tower?
Yeah, it's similar to it. I can't remember what the hell it was. It's only, oh, here we go. It is this one here. Is it? No, it's not. No. I can look like it. It's only single, where is it? This one here. The NH-U12A. That's it there. Fantastic air cooler. We'll look into that. When you're ready to do everything and you're ready to build, right?
Mm-hmm.
I might send this up to you. Clean it up. And yeah, you can slap this into it.
Oh shit, okay.
Yeah, it's a $230 cooler there.
I'm looking at it, yeah.
Yeah, awesome cooler, man. Quiet. Okay. It's awesome. It's very easy to install as well. So yeah, no stress at all. So yeah, something to look at that as well. But look, let's as it stands now, right? Now, have you updated the list again?
Fuck, I think so. What was the last thing we just did?
So we're looking at the 9900X.
Yeah, 9900X is in.
U12, if it's 120s, yes, it is. And hello. It's an awesome cooler, man. Only reason why I got rid of it is my previous case, the glass at the front, I couldn't put it on because it was actually too long. I didn't have an all-in-one at the time. I was going to go full custom loop again with my sister setup.
What's the height on it?
It will fit in the NZXT case.
Okay, because I was going to say probably because it's only 41 mils, I think.
Hey, Justin, how you going, buddy? It fits in the NZXT. I actually had it in this case before I went to liquid cooling.
Okay.
Yeah.
Goddamn ads. All right.
Chipworks fine.
That's all right. I'll sort that out.
No, it's all good. It's all good. It's a long one too. So.
Yeah.
It's
only 90 seconds. That's the same as the last one.
Yeah. I see you put it in there now. Okay. All right. So disregard the board. The board you can change, right? Roughly for the same price. I found a board very close to that anyway. Case, give or take. But if you have a look at this is look.
I can't see what you're looking at because of the ad.
Oh.
40 more seconds.
Okay. Well, wait then.
That's all right. What are we looking at?
To look at a 3D PC builder. In my Discord.
3D PC build?
Where'd you put it, buddy?
It's in the chat. He tagged me.
All right, now chat.
Yep.
All right, let's have a quick look at this one too. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've seen this before as well. How good are they? You literally can build your whole system in this thing.
Let's see what it looks like.
Yeah, you see what it looks like. But
Make sure everything fits.
But the thing is, the reason why I didn't choose it is because it's in US dollars. But you can actually put it. You can actually put it all together. It's good. I like this one. That's something we'll definitely look at. Just appreciate that, mate. Appreciate it.
Yeah, nice.
All right. So going back to this quickly, you can test it as well. Oh yeah.
I was just thinking, yeah, if you've got similar
it
parts, you can see if it all fits. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. So this setup here, disregard the motherboard, and maybe the prices of, the 9900X will not change as much. I don't think it will change at all. It's the GPU that might change a little bit, depending on you go back to the 700X XT, or you go for the 960, or you go for this thing here if you want to go full AMD. But I know the prices change dramatically, but then you're talking about something for you that you will not have to worry about for a very long time.
Yeah, for a long while. Yeah.
And if you do want to stream or do anything like that, you've got if I want to stream, I want to stream. If I don't want to stream, you've got no problems whatsoever. Look, the only difference between this system and mine, bar from the RAM, disregard the brands and stuff like that. The RAM, obviously I've got 24 gig of RAM as well. I play all my games at 4K Ultra. And
did you say 24?
Yeah, it's got 24 gig of RAM.
I'm assuming you mean 64.
No. I'm talking the GPU.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the GPU's got 24 gig of VRAM.
Yeah.
I've got 64 gig. So yeah. Yep. So yours is obviously, this is 32, which is still fine. But you get 60 if you go 64.
I can probably bump it up
to
64.
My RAM cost me $230 for 64 gig kit. It's just 2 sticks though. So you can muck around with this a bit more. I would wait definitely for the 960 XTs to be released, and then that's going to give you
960 XTs. Is that the NVIDIA ones, or is that the freaking?
That's the new AMD ones that is released.
Yeah, that's what I thought. We were just talking about.
Yeah, that's right. I think I had them here. One second, the thing is.
So you've got.
No, what was this one here? Here we go.
They don't have any 32 gig sticks.
What's this?
In DDR5?
Here we go, 960, 970s.
232s, there we go.
All right, so there's the 970s XT, they're $1249. New paper release, yeah, about that, right? So the 970 XTs have been released, and they're $1,249. And what else is here? AMD released a $350 card. So this is going to be one of the lowest tier cards. So you do have an option. You can go for the 970 XT, 16 gig, which is $1,300. So if we go the 970 XT versus the 7900 XTX. So 970 XT got released this year. We're talking about, and then you got the 7900 XTX, which got released in 2022, right?
Mm-hmm.
Look at the difference. They actually still everything. Look, the 700 XTX still beats it in most, and pretty much in everything really. 15%, 21%, 26%. Yeah, and that's just low tiers as well. So you've got to see which. You know what I'm saying now? Like, is it really worth the jump for you, or do I keep it as it is? And just go for the 700 XTX. So if you go for the 700 XT, for example, versus the 970, this is where it jumps over. The 970 XT actually beats it in most of it. So you're looking at there's some basic lighting. So you see 286 FPS versus 222. You got 329 here and gravity FPS to 287. So you've got to, see that. All right, this is
the 70 would be what's a couple of $100 cheaper.
It's $1,300 for the 970. So the 9070 is actually
cheaper than the 7800. Yeah, XTX 7900 XTX.
It's slightly cheaper than 7. Yeah, it's slightly cheaper, not much though.
Not much. Yeah, like $100 or something.
Yeah. But then, but even though this 7900 XTX is still an older GPU, it actually still outperforms it, but not by much though.
I was gonna, but it's only what was it, 15%?
Yeah, 10 to 15% is $150. You rather just get the newer GPU. You know, you're losing a bit, 6 gig of VRAM, but you are getting a faster GPU. You know, so in that case there, it's a bit of a no-brainer. And this way here.
How much did you say your 64 gig of RAM was?
Mine came from Centacom though, so mine was different. So the RAM. Where's the RAM on this? Memory. Here we go. DDR5. So you go 64.
Yeah. I was cooking meatballs. What do you think I was talking about? Shadow's just come out of cadets, and he saw a message that I sent to the group chat saying my balls are soaking.
I'll go to here because I bought mine from Centacom. Memory 64 gig. Type DDR5. So you go here. So you got 289, 259, 290. It's actually gone up. Maybe it's that fucking tariff shit. It's brought it all up.
Probably.
I'm pretty sure these are the ones. Actually, no, it was actually more. Maybe it was over 300.
I'll be back in a second. Sorry.
Yeah, sure.
But continue looking around.
Yep. Yeah, so I think for we're looking at here. I think it was it must have gone up in price because I didn't pay this much for it, but it looks like they've don't pay $379, but it's $399, $339. But yeah, so you can muck around with this a little bit. You don't need to go for the max. You can go 48 gig if you want. Preferably you want to go 64. Then if you want to put another 2 more sticks on there, you can go to obviously 128. But obviously it's not really recommended these days. 64 I think would be more than plenty enough. But yeah, so we can depending on what you guys are really playing these days, and most of the people are playing, even for Doom and like that, Doom being a brand new AAA title, people are still playing them on 3rd, 4th, even 5th generation CPUs and even graphics cards as well. So
Doom is so much fun.
Is it? And like obviously your PC handles it pretty well.
Oh yeah, not a problem at all.
There you go. Yeah. Perfect build for Minesweeper. Yeah, there you go, buddy. It's a Minesweeper build right there. All right. I think what we'll do on this.
So what were we looking at? We were looking at more RAM and a different board. Yeah,
well, the board itself, right? The board, the price of that board, you can actually, we'll be able to find a board that will support the 9000 series, not a problem, even in that price range.
Yeah.
And obviously you need Wi-Fi there as well. Is that one of the things that you do need for?
No, I don't need it.
Okay.
It was more of a, like, if it goes in the kids' room,
that's right.
Easier than running a fucking cable.
Yeah. So what you want to try and find, if you do not require Wi-Fi, particularly go for a 5G port, a network port, or instead of getting a 2.5, get a 5G network port, which will bump up your network speed going to the PC. That's what I went with mine.
Nice.
And yeah, it's like the prices may vary a little bit, right? But like I said, with this, we can probably drop it down to 2,700 if you go for the 970 XT. And then that's something you don't have to worry about for a long time.
Hang on, what's it sitting at the moment? Should have lost it.
Oh, wait, I was looking at the wrong one. I was looking at the old one. I need to delete that one.
I was going to say it's 33 at the moment.
Yeah. So you probably go down to about 32.
Although that's with the 7900.
Yeah.
So it'd be 32.
Yeah, around 3200. And you won't have to worry about this for a long time.
I'll need a different power supply though, going to the
buddy,
970.
Yeah, the 970 XT. So if you go with that for yourself, you are home and hose, really. And if you wanted to cheap out, honestly, man, you maybe go down. Well, actually, not even like the 1 terabyte for $100 from Team Force. Look, there's those depending on
what 500s are like $79 or something.
Yeah, it depends on the chiplets they're using as well. We just gotta be careful.
Yep.
We'll have to do some background checks on what Team Force are actually using on their chips. Because the last thing you want to do is obviously install everything up, and then within 12 months, down.
I think I'm using Samsungs in mine.
Mm-hmm. Actually, I've had fails in Samsung. I've actually gone away from them.
Oh, really?
Yep, I've gone to Crucials. I'm using Crucial P5s now.
I wasn't sure about the Crucials because I don't think I'd ever heard of them before.
Oh yeah, Crucial's really good.
Okay, well that's good to know.
No problems with Crucials, mate. They actually use top tier chiplets in there as well. I have not had one fail so far. Samsungs, I've had 2 SSD failed. Well, one of them failed because the GPU on my computer last time. One of them shit itself.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah.
That was one of the Samsung ones.
One of the Samsung drives.
Yeah, I haven't had a fail in a Samsung.
I've had two. So. 2 and 3 years.
Oh shit, eh?
There was a firmware issue, which I did update, by the way. There was a firmware issue with the SSD. Well, I'm pretty sure it's actually fixed now with their new generation. And if you install the Magic software, the Samsung Magic software, whatever it's called, which updated the firmware on the SSD, which fixed it. But what was happening is it was actually putting in more power and overwriting the chiplets consistently at the wrong rate.
Oh shit!
So it actually degraded it so quickly, which forced them to fail. That's unlucky. The firmware was with the 90. Yeah, I know. But I had a friend of mine that I don't know, this is a bit of a weird one. So he built a PC, baller PC, over 2 years ago, and I remember you guys remember the Intel CPUs having those problems with too much voltage going through and killing the CPUs. So he built the PC. He stopped using it for over 2.5 years. I mean, like dead stop. It was literally, it wouldn't power on. There was an issue problem. Anyway, me and him were talking off and on to get it fixed up. He eventually sent it to me 2.5 years later, right? Never powered it up. Yep. He missed the whole generation of the firmware issues with the CPUs. He missed the generations of the issues with the Samsung drives. So I updated his firmware on that one as well. First thing I did was did a BIOS update on his motherboard and fixed up the firmware on his CPU. He literally skipped that whole generation altogether. So now he's got his PC back and running because it was a full custom loop. And is like he skipped those 2 years. Yep, it's a few generations behind, but it's still like a brand new PC to him now. And he's wrapped. Nice. And I said to him, "You're lucky." He goes, "Well, if you're running this for the last 2 years," and I go, "I know you wouldn't have updated your BIOS." I go, "This PC will be dead." Literally, be dead. Yeah.
All right. So a little bit more tweaking.
But if you want to actually tweak that now, I can't tweak it for you. Actually, I might just make up my own page. And
just make.
I'm just gonna tweak it for you. How about that?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right.
No, that's fine.
Okay, so let's start the ready new wish list. Let's do Hobo. Hobo's list.
Make sure you set it to public. Yeah.
Yep. Hobo's list. All right, so for the sake of pricing, let's just keep this on there. Actually,
what's that one? I'm in the kitchen making dinner now.
The Antec. The anti-constellation is actually still a good case regardless.
Oh yeah.
All right. Let's get rid of these two.
Oh, how big is the whatever?
The
Which case did you
700
put on there? The
XTX.
one you've got?
The one I've got.
Yeah.
In my,
Wait, I was just wondering which you were talking about a case. So
mine's the H9 Elite. Right, let's put this in here. 750 is enough. Let's go now. Border could probably change. I'll change it later on. Let's get your RAM. RAM is fine for now. What are the timings on this
if
one?
we're gonna do it, if I was gonna do it, I just may as well go for the 64, like you said.
Look, the CL30 is fine. Look, yeah. Do you want to spend the extra $200?
The CL, yeah.
Yeah.
The CL30 was I was gonna go with because it's
You want tighter timings?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the faster or the better end of the DDR5. You don't really get much lower than that.
Well, I'll tell you now, there isn't any difference at all.
Oh, okay.
There isn't. Yeah. All right. Processor. What am I missing? Motherboard and GPU. Okay. All right. So let's go for motherboards. AM5. Let's go with. I want to see what's the cheapest. And don't get me wrong, this is PCK skis. Yeah, we will look at. We will be looking at like Centacom and everything else. I'll be able to get all this parts cheaper at Centacom, by the way.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Yeah. Doesn't matter if it's going to get sent to you.
Good to know.
Yeah. I used to work there.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah,
I usually just use this one for putting everything together because it's the easiest one I found to fucking
I
navigate.
know. That's fine. B850 boards.
There's.
So this comes up a bit now. You can go into B850s. It's all because of the CPU.
Gonna play Minecraft really well.
100%. This is gonna be Let's just muck around. Let's muck around with this anyway. I'm just gonna go by the lowest. Low to high.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? The eagle balls are actually pretty good. Oh, actually, I don't mind the eagle balls. Let's just add this on there for now. All right, check out.
That red one playing.
Yep. And then we've got GPUs.
I'm sorry, I'm having two conversations at a time here. So.
No, you're right. B970 XT. Does it matter what brand?
For what?
Yeah, GPU.
No.
Or we can go power call. You chose that before anyway. So 3275.
Well, I'm looking at a shadows list at the moment. I can't see what you're looking at.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring it here now. You'll see it now.
Oh, okay.
Give me a second. All right.
I wasn't sure if you'd meant to update it or not.
Yeah, because I was copying and pasting over and over.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're looking at that. Mind you, that's not including the cooler.
Not including the cooler, yeah.
Yeah. So 3275. I'll see what I can get it for off stream. I'll send this list off to you, mate, and see if there is a bit of a difference. But yeah, and then obviously you got shipping on top of that.
Yeah.
The shipping cost.
I see. I thought you put a different case on. and a different power supply?
No. I kept the same. The case may have to change. Or to check the height of the Constellation. The Constellation case is actually really good, so it's not a shit case at all. If it fits my cooler, then we'll keep the same case.
Yeah, that was the only thing I was looking at.
Yeah, we'll check the heights on that.
Cooler height. I saw that the other day.
Yeah.
Where is it? It was max CPU cooler height. 160 mils. Yeah.
And this one's 158. So there's 2 mil difference.
just squeezes in.
It will just squeeze in, which is roughly about right. Look, it is big. It is a big ass cooler, but it will definitely cool the.
It'll keep it cool, yeah.
100%. Yeah. I think the rating on this one. What was the rating on it? I could never find the rating. I had to actually go on. It wasn't even on Noctour's website, but it can do the 900X easily.
Yeah.
The wattage. I think this one goes to about 220 to 180 or 190 watt. Yeah, it does it easy. So I wouldn't worry about it. But this one here, how do I share this now on the website?
You just copy the
Just copy the link.
The link, yeah.
Yep. All right, I'll send it to you. Okay. Yeah, you're looking at 3275 plus shipping.
In fact, did that send me to my shopping cart? Because you linked the shopping cart.
Which link am I supposed to link then?
You have to save it to a wish list.
I did save it. It said hobos. Oh, add to wish list. So it's going to log in live. Let's bring this over here. It does have my things on there. Okay. Wish list. No wish list. How does that work? Add to wish list. Okay. Hobo. Public. Yep. Okay. Copy, paste, and there you go.
Yeah, that works better.
All right. So you're looking at 3275.
Okay.
And
as a starting reference.
As a starting reference, yeah. But you will not have to worry for a long, long time.
Oh shit, the 9070's on there. Okay.
Yeah, it's in there. The 9070 XT, Hellhound, 16 gig OC. For now, we've got the B850 Eagle, which we could probably muck around with that one a bit more. The 9900X.
What was that one, sorry?
The B850 Eagle motherboard. Yep. The 9900X, you got a 4 terabyte NVMe, 1 terabyte NVMe. Still got a 32 gig of RAM at the moment. An RM750X Gold power supply, ATX 3.1, and the Antec Constellation C5 case.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's yeah, baller. Fucking awesome PC.
Yeah.
Full AMD, but which is good.
Yep.
But
yeah, I'm having trust issues with Nvidia and Intel at the moment.
Oh, look, that's Intel will come back. They're next, but if even though AMD have already, they're not the next generation. They're going to release the generation after, which is in 2027. It's going to be released. Apparently, it's already going to destroy Intel's next 3 generations. They're already saying. But they all say that.
I don't see a problem with that.
Yeah.
They always say that.
Yeah, they all say that.
Except so far. Oh, wait. Intel was saying that about AMD or the other way around?
AMD was saying about AMD was saying about Intel. But Intel are about to release their new processors, desktop processors anyway.
But see, last time they did that, Intel was like, oh, yeah, we're going to fucking shit all over the AMD stuff. And it didn't get there.
No. It did not happen.
Everything fell short.
Exactly right. Exactly right. So you literally got to wait until it literally gets a hard release. Or like what Justin said, everything's been paper released so far. It's ridiculous. When you get a hard release, then you exactly know. Yeah. That's unlucky what the firmware was with the United Pros. Yep. I have 2 of them in my system, 1 gig and 500 gig SSDs. No problems. Touch wood. You talking about the Crucials or are you talking about the Samsung drives? Sorry, Justin, I've probably been in there for a bit.
Yeah, it's been there for a while.
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought you'd seen it.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't say it. The Samsungs. Yeah, as long as you update the firmware using the Samsung Magician software, you'll be fine. You'll be fine.
What's the 850 got on it?
Sorry?
It's got 3 M2 slots.
Yes. Yes, it does. But the thing is, because it's got Wi-Fi as well, we can probably find another board that doesn't have Wi-Fi. If it's not required.
I don't mind.
Yeah.
I don't mind if it's got Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
At the moment, I've actually got to get a new fucking router.
Mm-hmm. Look, hardwire is the best, yeah.
But the cable fucking ports on the back of it at the moment are shit themselves.
Oh, really? There you go.
Yeah, I plug it in and I get so I'm using Wi-Fi at the moment.
Yeah.
I plug it in and I get like 0.1 of a meg upload speed.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's absolutely fucked.
Not good at all.
Doesn't matter which port I use. I've used new cables. It also doesn't matter which computer or device I plug it into.
Oh, still the same.
It's still the same for everybody.
Yeah.
Like through the Xbox, through the wife's computer.
The router shit itself.
It's completely shit itself. Yeah. So
I will try a firmware update on the router. Make sure the firmware is up to date. If you've done it already, then I'll say the router's on its way out.
Yeah.
As soon as the firmware patch came out, I updated. Well done, buddy. You're probably like the only 15 people in the world that did that. That didn't have the Samsung Magician software. So what do you think of this build?
I think it's fucking awesome.
I know it's a really over budget at the moment, like obviously what you originally had, but then you look at the comparisons, what you're looking at getting, 100%.
It's got to be 40% better than what I had.
Easily 40, I reckon 40-50%.
Yeah.
Obviously the most of the money you can look at.
If I'm buying it for myself, I'd rather spend the extra money.
Well, look, apart from the GPU, right? This the processor that's taking a lot of the sum up. Compared to it was a $280 processor to $699 processor, and the board is $100 difference between, give or take. And obviously put another $300 on top compared from the 970 XT compared to the 700 XT. But then you see then you can see roughly the difference in performance as well. Compare the two.
We saw that.
So in this case here, I think you'll be fine for a long while running at 1440.
Yeah.
And not a problem whatsoever. All right, guys, what we're going to do is I'm going to take a minute or two break, and then we're going to change over to World of Warships. Are you going to jump into my div? Are you going to jump in, Just? Or are you relaxing on the couch, mate?
What server are you going to jump onto?
What are they on? Are they on EU? I'm guessing he's on EU, isn't he?
Yeah.
We can jump in EU. Have you got any ships on EU?
I'm up to tier 9. I'm close to a 10.
Oh, beautiful then. Yeah, I haven't even got a tier 10. I'm on tier 9, so I'll just send Ozo a message. All right, guys, thank you so much for tonight so far. We're just going to take a quick break, and then we're going to convert it. No worries, mate. No worries at all. We'll get back to this. Like my next Talking Tech, we're going to come back to this and we're going to fix everything up a bit more, and then we're going to finalize the list, and I'll get prices in the meantime because now I've got it on here. We'll be able to see if we can drop this price a little bit lower than it really is.
Sounds good.
All right, so I'm going to take about a minute or two break, guys, and then jump into World of Warships. I'm going to ping Ozo and see where he's at.
Yeah, I'll jump out of here and go finish dinner off, and I'll be back in a few minutes.
Yep.
Thanks, everyone.
Jumping. Ooh.
I believe in Joe Hendry.
I love it. All right. Okay, guys, give me about a couple of minutes and we will get into World of Warships EU for tonight, when we'll be jumping on with Ozil. See you guys soon.